Hello and welcome to No Win, No Fee, the show where all 12 of these contestants are hoping to go home with £4,000, and I'm hoping, sincerely hoping, that they don't, because I don't get paid for presenting the show today. If one of these people takes that money, I go home with absolutely nothing. Zero. No win, no fee for me. And if you don't believe me, here's my contract. I've signed this, look at it in black and white. Remuneration. The presenter agrees that he shall receive no fee for providing the services. In fact, the only way I make anything at all is if this lot fail to get the money. In which case, fingers crossed, I go home with £4,000. So let's meet the people who are standing between me and my fee today. Judith, Colin, Krista, Andre, Neil, Steph, Pete, Stuart, Caroline, Steve, Rima and Bernie. Now, you're all complete strangers. You only met just before the show. All you really know about each other are your names. And this is a game of assumption and presumption. I'm going to ask you to choose players who you think are going to get a question wrong. This is going to be sudden death, so it's all about first impressions. There are 12 of you here now, but I'm very happy to say that in just a few minutes, I'll have got rid of 6 of you. So we're going to start by randomly selecting one of you. I wonder who it's going to be. Somebody's going to come up and choose a question, then choose an opponent they think will get that question wrong. And it's Judith up first with nothing to go on but first impressions. Judith, join me now and choose your question. So Judith, choice of 2 questions. Top or bottom? Pick a question you think somebody here is going to get wrong, and then select an opponent. But the big question first is, which one are you going for, top or bottom?
I know which one I don't know, but I think most of the people here will. So I'll have to go for the other one, won't I, which is the top one.
Judith is going to pick the top question. Here it comes. Study all their faces. Keep an eye on them. Yeah. You've got to pick somebody to get this one wrong. What element is denoted by the chemical symbol K? Who's a chemistry student? Who did their homework? Who looks like a SWAT? Who'd know this? Who's flinching? Bernie looks very confident, could be a bluff.
I think it'll have to be Pete.
Pete, Judith thinks you're going to get this wrong. Join us now and face your question. So why did you go for Pete? He looks like a cheery, confident soul.
I think I've changed my mind. He's very smiley now, isn't he?
Could be bluffing though, Judith, couldn't he?
Could be.
A lot of money at stake, Pete, £4,000. What did you do with that dough?
I'm going to spoil the wife and the children.
He's going to. He's confident.
Yep.
The money's his, but only in his mind. You'd disagree, wouldn't you, Judith?
I certainly would. I'd spoil me.
Right. £4,000 at stake. You have to answer this question correctly, Pete.
Yes.
Judith, though, is banking on the fact you're going to get it wrong. If you do get it wrong, you're out, she stays in. If you're right, Judith goes home. Here's your question. Take as long as you like.
Fine.
What element is denoted by the chemical symbol K?
There's a few of them. Going back a few years to school, I think I know. I think I know what the answer is to that one.
Do you think he does know?
I think he might.
Oh dear, if he does, Judith.
I think he might.
If he does, we're losing
I
you.
know.
Let's find his answer. Pete, you have to get this right to stay in the game.
Fine.
What element is denoted by the chemical symbol K?
I believe the symbol K is potassium.
Potassium is the right answer. Which means, Pete, take your place for the next round.
Thank you.
And Judith, it's been lovely meeting you.
And you.
But I'm happy to say, you're out. So, one person is through, he's safe, he's secure for the time being. Who's going to join him and who else is going home? Let's find somebody else to choose a question. And it's Steve. How good a judge of character is he? Steve, join me now and choose your question. A lot of money, £4,000.
It is.
Big prize.
Definitely.
Pick a question first and then start thinking about how you're going to spend that money. Top or bottom, what are you going to go for? Which question will somebody here get wrong?
I'm going to go for the bottom one.
The bottom question,
yeah.
without much hesitation.
Definitely.
Very determined young man, here it comes. Take a look at their faces. You've got to pick a victim, somebody who's going to get it wrong. Which British boxer was the first outright winner of 3 Lonsdale belts? They're all very impassive. I don't sense any weakness, but is anybody looking overconfident?
I'm afraid it's going to have to be Steph.
I don't think he's afraid really, Steph. Why don't you join us and prove him wrong? Come and face your question. So she doesn't look like a boxing fan to you then, is that it?
I wouldn't have said so, Paul.
OK, and if you
Sorry,
get this
Steph.
right, Steph, even if it's a guess, you stay in and Steve goes home. But if you're wrong, he's picked correctly and you're out. Here we go. Which British boxer was the first outright winner of 3 Lonsdale belts? She's looking pensive.
She is.
Still happy with your choice?
I don't know. She might be a secret boxing fan.
What would you do with £4 grand?
I think I'd have to sort my car out or get a new one because it's falling apart.
Lovely new car for £4,000,
It
couldn't
would
you?
be good, yeah.
Top of the range second-hand motor. Very nice. Got to earn the money though.
Yeah.
Here we go. Which British boxer was the first outright winner of 3 Lonsdale belts?
I don't know why, but I'm going to say Nigel Benn because he's in my head. So.
Nigel Benn, the Dark
Yeah.
Destroyer.
Yeah.
If Nigel Benn is the right answer, Steve goes home. If you're wrong, Steph, you're out. The answer is Henry Cooper.
Oh,
Steph,
no.
you're wrong. Which means, Steve, you can take your place for the next round, and Steph, it's been lovely to meet you, but I'm delighted to say you're out. So 8 nervous-looking people facing me. Only 4 of those are going through to the final round. Who's up next? And it's Bernie, who's going to choose a question and get rid of an opponent. Join me now. Or maybe not, Bernie, because if you pick somebody who gets the answer right, you're out. You've had a bit of time to assess them. Here's a couple of questions for you, though. Which one is most likely to give people problems, top or bottom? Which one is somebody going to get wrong?
I'll go bottom.
The bottom question does involve children's TV. Here it comes. Which children's TV characters live in Home Hill? He thinks one of you's going out. Maybe you can prove him wrong. Who are you going to go for, Bernie?
I'll go for Krista.
Krista, he thinks he's got the measure of you. Join us and face your question. I'm not going to ask Krista whether she's got children or not, Bernie. I'm going to ask you why you chose her.
I didn't think she had children. I could be completely wrong. I hope I'm right.
The reason I'm not going to ask her is because she doesn't have to tell me the truth. She could be bluffing. But you do have to get this question right, Krista, to stay in the game. If you do get it right, there's a bonus. We get rid of Bernie.
Right.
I'm happy either way. After I hear your answer, I lose one of you. Here comes the question. Could be worth £4,000. Which children's TV characters live in Home Hill? Bit of a nervous rub together of the thumbs there, and that slight grimace, but that could all be a bluff, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think an educated guess is coming.
Not too happy with your choice now, then?
No, still fairly sure.
Would you know the answer to that question?
I'm not saying.
Please yourself.
I'm going to make a guess, because of the hill part of it, at Teletubbies.
Children's TV characters who live in Home Hill are the Teletubbies. Krista's right. Which means, Krista, you've got a place in the next round. And Bernie, I'm delighted to say you're out. So, you're halfway through round 1. Only 3 places left, but I've got 6 people in front of me. Who's coming up next? And it's Neil, right in front of me. He's going to choose a question, then pick an opponent to get that question he hopes wrong. Let's do it now. Hi, Neil. 2 questions, top or bottom. Which one do you think is going to be toughest for somebody here? 5 faces to choose from.
But look at the people left. Might probably go on the bottom one.
Is that the one you want to
I'll
pick?
choose bottom, yes, Paul.
It's the bottom question. Bit of hesitation from Neil. Here it comes. Who was the first London football club to win a European title? Take a look at their faces, Neil.
To be totally sexist, Caroline.
So, Caroline, it sounds like he's chosen you only because you're a woman. Come up and prove him wrong. Come and face your question. Is that the only reason, Neil?
It's the only reason.
Because Rima's a woman as well.
True.
But you went for Caroline.
I think Rima comes from London.
Right. First impressions are important, Caroline. You need to get this right to stay in the game. If you do get it right, he's out. Off he goes. But if you're wrong, he stays in. £4,000. Here's the question. Who was the first London football club to win a European title? Take your time. I think Caroline knows.
Possibly.
Could be a very good bluffer, good actor.
Could be. Good guesser.
If she does know, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. You've got to get this right to stay in the game. Who was the first London football club to win a European title?
Well, I've got a choice of 3. And I think I'll go, with a bit of a guess, I think I'll go with Arsenal.
The European Cup Winners' Cup was won in 1963 by Tottenham Hotspur. Caroline, you're wrong. Which means, Neil, you can, with that little smile on your lips, take your place in the next round. And Caroline, commiserations, but I'm happy to say you're out. 4 people left. Who's up next? To pick a question, then choose an opponent. Let's find out. And it's Andre. He's going to make that lonely walk and choose a question. Let's do it now. Hi, Andre. Would you rather be choosing a question or answering a question?
I'd rather be choosing.
Good for you. Here's a couple of options, top or bottom. Which one do you think somebody here is going to get wrong?
The bottom one.
The bottom question. Is that because you don't know the answer?
Yeah.
Study those 3 faces. Somebody's got to come up here and get that question wrong for you to stay in the game. £4,000. Here's the question. In which novel by Charles Dickens does the character Philip Pirrip appear? Who's it going to be?
I think I'll go with Rima.
So, Rima, he thinks he's sussed you out and sensed your weakness. Join us and face your question. What was it that made you think Rima might be vulnerable on this one?
Well, I didn't really read too much out of anybody, really, but I suppose I'm just being sexist again.
Send the letters of complaint, please, to Andrea, not to me. Here we go, Rima. You've got to get this right to stay in the game. In which novel by Charles Dickens does the character Philip Pirrip appear? Still happy with the choice?
Fairly.
Only fairly?
Yeah.
You swallowed a bit then, didn't you, Andre?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Would you have known this?
Not a chance.
Rima, you need to get this right. In which novel by Charles Dickens does the character Philip Pirrip appear?
It's a complete guess. Is it Oliver Twist?
The answer is Great Expectations, so Rima, you're wrong. Which means Andrea's got a place in the next round, and Rima, commiserations, but I'm happy to say you're out. 2 people left in play, but only 1 place in the final round. 1 person can go through and get my £4,000. Colin or Stuart? Stuart or Colin? Who's up first? And it's you, Colin. Colin's going to choose a question that he's hoping Stuart will get wrong. Colin, join me now. As ever, you've got a choice of 2 and a lot of money at stake. Which one do you want to go for, Colin? Top or bottom?
I think I'd probably go for the top question.
The top question. OK, now in the interest of fairness, Stuart, you can stay there and think for a few seconds after I've read the question. then you'll join us and you must give me a correct answer to stay in the game. The lev is the currency of which Eastern European country? Would you have chosen Stuart, do you think, to go up against?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Very confident. Could be bluffing though, couldn't you, Colin?
I could be, but I think not.
OK, Stuart, you've had a little bit of thinking time. Join us now and face your question. Feeling confident, Stuart?
Oh, yeah.
He looks confident. Bit of an eyeball contest going on here, like two stags locking antlers. Right. Stuart, you've got to get this one right to stay in the game. Colin is hoping you're going to get it wrong. If you do get it right, he's out. If you're wrong, he stays in. Last chance for one of you to get £4,000 to get in that final round. Here's the question. The lev is the currency of which Eastern European country? Still think you've chosen the right question?
Absolutely.
Voice has gone a bit quiet and gravelly though, Colin. Licking his lips. Why are you so confident Stuart's going to get this one wrong?
I don't know. It's just a gut feeling.
Stuart, the lev is the currency of which Eastern European country?
Hungary.
Not much hesitation. If Hungary's right, he goes through to the next round. Colin, if he's wrong, you're the victor in this one.
Chance.
The answer is Bulgaria. Stuart, you're wrong. Which means, Colin, you're through to the next round.
Okay.
And commiserations, Stuart. But on the whole, I'm happy to say you're out. And well done to all 6 of you for getting this far. You've managed to eliminate your opponents, either because you're good judges of character, you're on the clever side, or you're lucky. But let's hope you've also been paying attention to each other's strengths and weaknesses, because now it's time for you to go head-to-head with each other, and of course with me. Because if none of you win, I'm going to be putting £4,000 in my pocket. Otherwise, I get nothing at all from this show, and I haven't won for a few days now. So, I hope it's no win, no fee for you, as we all take one step closer to that money. And in round 2, things are decidedly trickier. Judgment of character is now crucial. You've got to choose your opponent before hearing the question they're going to have to answer. I'm going to then read that question, and to stay in the game, you tell me if you think your opponent is going to get it right or wrong. As always, we start by randomly choosing one of you. So someone's got to come up who's a good judge of character. They've got to pick an opponent they can suss out. Who's it going to be? He's right in front of me. It's Andre. Andre, join me and pick your opponent. Now, you did show good judge of character last time. You managed to kick Rima out. Feeling guilty at all?
Not really, no.
You've got to pick an opponent who you think you can suss out, whose body language you can read. Maybe somebody whose intelligence has impressed you, or somebody you think is a bit dim is going to get a question wrong. It's up to you, mate. Very straightforward. You pick an opponent, I read a question, and then you tell me whether they're going to get that question right or wrong. Andre, who's it going to be?
I think I'll go with Krista.
Krista, either he thinks he's got the measure of you, or he wants to trust you. He trusts your general knowledge. Join us, and let's find out as you face your question. So why did you go for Krista?
Well, I liked the performance in the first round, so I think she might be able to pull out the hat.
And did you think you could read a reaction? You knew she was going to get it right?
Yeah.
OK, Krista. Now, you do have to get this question right, as ever, to stay in the game. But before you answer, Andre's going to tell me whether you're going to get it right or wrong. Here we go. How are pop duo Neil Tennant and Chris Lowe better known? Right or wrong?
Wrong.
Wrong? If she's right, you're out.
Indeed, but you've got to take a gamble, haven't you?
You have got to take a gamble. Krista, how are pop duo Neil Tennant and Chris Lowe better known?
I hope I don't disappoint. I think it's the Pet Shop Boys.
If the Pet Shop Boys is right, you stay in the game. Neil Tennant and Chris Lowe are better known as the Pet Shop Boys. Krista, you're right. Which means, Krista, back to your place, you stay in the game. Andre, commiserations, but I'm happy to say, sit down, you're out. One down, 5 to go. I want them all out. I want that £4,000. Who's up next? Oh, and it's Krista. She answered a question successfully just now and kicked somebody out of the game. Now she's up to choose an opponent. Let's do it. You can tell me. Were you bluffing then?
Yes.
Maybe you're bluffing now.
I may well be. I think I'm going to go for Colin.
So, Colin, it's time for you to face your question. Of course, Colin has yet to answer a question.
Yes.
So why did you go for him?
I think I can read him quite well. I think I can.
You need to read him spot on to stay in the game.
I'm going with my instincts.
OK, Colin, as ever, you must get this question right to stay in the game. But before you answer, Krista's going to tell me whether you're going to get it right or wrong. Here we go. Where is the Lake of Dreams? Notice how he's looking at me, not at you.
Sly.
You think he's a bit sly?
Yeah, it's a bit sly.
I think he's trying to help you. I think he knows the answer. He's confident. But then again, you see, if he doesn't and you say he does, you're both out, and I'm happier, so don't let me influence you.
I think he's going to get it wrong.
If he gets it right, you're out.
I know. Just stab in the dark.
She thinks you're going to get this wrong. If you do get it wrong, you're out. If you get it right, you stay in, and Krista's out. Here's the question. Colin, where is the Lake of Dreams?
Lake. Lucerne.
Lake Lucerne is your final answer?
Possibly.
In about 4 seconds, I'm going to take that as a yes. So you confirm it, yeah?
Yeah.
The Lake of Dreams is on the moon. So, Colin, you're wrong. Which means, Krista, you are still in the game. And, Colin, commiserations, but I'm delighted to say, sit down, you're out. So, Krista's managed to eliminate 2 opponents. But who's going to get that £4,000 and who's up next? And it's Neil. I wonder how good a judge of character Neil is. Let's find out. Join me now, Neil, and choose your opponent. Very simple, Neil. You pick an opponent, somebody you think you can read, somebody whose reactions you think you're more familiar with. I read a question, and you tell me whether that opponent's going to get the answer right or wrong.
Steve hasn't been up yet. I think Krista's had enough.
You're frightened of Krista.
I am.
You're right to be wary of her. Mind you, her luck could be used up. Who's it going to be?
Steve.
So, Steve, he thinks he's got the measure of you. Join us now and face your question. Why, Steve?
I don't know. Pete, fairly inscrutable. Krista, I'm afraid of.
Now, Steve, you need to get this answer right to stay in the game. But before you answer, Neil's got to tell me whether you're going to get it right or wrong. Here we go. Which country's flag is a white crescent and star offset left of centre on a red field? Look at his reaction. I know what you're doing. You're thinking whether you know the answer or not, aren't you? Wouldn't worry about that, mate. Doesn't matter what you know. It's what you think he knows or doesn't know. Is he going to get it right or wrong, do you think?
I think he knows.
He's going to get it right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure?
No.
But as sure as you can be?
Yep.
He's putting his faith in you, Steve. And if you do know, and he's smiling now, you both stay in the game. But if you're wrong, I'm happy because you're both out. Right, Paul. Here's the question. Which country's flag is a white crescent and star offset left of centre on a red field?
I'm not too sure, but I'm going to go for Tunisia.
The answer is Turkey. Steve, you're wrong. Which means Neil is wrong as well, because he put his faith in you. So I'm delighted to say to both of you, happy days, sit down, you're out. 3 people left in the running. I include myself because I want that £4,000. But will Krista or Pete take it away from me? Let's find out. Who's coming up first? Krista has got to predict whether or not Pete knows the answer to a question. There's no choice of opponents, so will you both join me? Happy with Pete? You didn't pick him before.
As I said before, he's got a nice, open, honest face.
I think you said inscrutable. Here's the question. Pete, in the Tour de France, the polka dot jersey is awarded to the fastest rider over what stages? Think about it.
I think he's going to get it wrong.
You think he's going to get it wrong?
Yes.
Pete, if you get this right, you have won £4,000.
Yes.
If you get it wrong, Krista has won £4,000. Either way, I'm going home with 0, zip, zilch. No win, no fee for me. Here we go. Pete, in the Tour de France, the polka dot jersey is awarded to the fastest rider over what stages?
I believe it's the mountain stages.
The answer is the mountain stages. Pete, you're right.
Yes! Thank you. Thank you very much.
Which means, Krista, commiserations.
Thank you.
Sit down, you're out. And Pete has just won £4,000.
Thank you very much.
I don't know why I'm excited. I've got absolutely nothing for fronting the show today. He was nervous, he earned the money. Join us again the next time we play No Win, No Fee. If you weren't there, we'd miss you. Bye for now.